Hello, happy New Year, everybody. Hi, Carla. Yes, it's finally Wednesday. I feel like it should be Friday by now on this first week back, but here we are. It's Wednesday. I have my wrong banner up. Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to What Would Cynthia Do? I'm Cynthia. I'm a feminist career strategist. I work with women of color, and I'm so happy you're here. We're talking career change today. So we're going to get into that in a minute. But before we do, I'd like to know who's here. Tell me if you're here. And Carla knows the drill already. We do intros on here. Please share your name and your pronouns. If you want to share what you do, go ahead. And also one ask and one offer, so I know who's here. Hi, Tamara. Because I can't see you, and I don't know who's here unless you drop into the chat. So thank you, Ali. Hi, happy to have you. So yeah, let's all get to know each other a little bit, make some connections like we like to do on What Would Cynthia Do? I'm going to tell you that my ask is that you share it if you are going through a career change right now, or if you have one planned for 2021. Asterisk, a career change can be anything from big to small, right? Like it could be a total pivot from one industry to another, or it could be something more subtle. It could be like, I want to switch from this team or this role to this other team or this other role. It could be you want to move up to the next level. We're always in a career change, is the honest to goodness truth. So tell me if that is you and what type of change you might be considering. We'll be getting into it in a little bit. And thank you, Carla, for introing yourself. Oh my gosh, Zareen, hello. Before I forget, Zareen, okay, let me put up a special banner. People who have been longtime regulars of this show know that way back in the beginning, I had a third segment of the show that I never had time for after a while. It kept running overtime, but it's called Victory of the Week. And so I'm happy to report that Zareen, who is here, right here, in fact, this show apparently, or something that I posted, inspired Zareen to start a podcast called No Stupid Answers, if I'm not mistaken. So Zareen, please put in the chat how people can find out more about your show, and congratulate you for this huge, hold on, let me play you an air horn. Yeah, that's for you. My air horn there. Congratulations on launching your podcast. I hope it is hugely successful. Yep, dun dun dun. I have that sound effect somewhere too. So tell people the link to find out more, or if they should simply follow you here on LinkedIn. And congratulations. Victory of the week without me even planning it. Okay, let's see who else is here. Ibitoa, hi. Carla is sending her congratulations as always. So keep doing your intros and telling me what is going on for all of you all. Thanks for dropping that Anchor chat. I do want to tell you all, this is my offer. Let me turn this down a bit. Okay, my offer for you all this week is that I am actually doing a giveaway on Instagram next Thursday. Okay, so January, I'm looking at my calendar, 14th. Next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm doing a giveaway of 5 copies of my book, Don't Stay in Your Lane. And this amazing, unprecedented giveaway of mine is sponsored generously by my friend and colleague and law school classmate, Nikki Thomas. So it's very simple. Nikki wanted to support getting these books into the hands of women of color who needed it. So she was like, let me buy 5 copies from you, Cynthia, so that you can give them away. It's incredible. So the rules are simple. Just show up to the live on Instagram next Thursday, the 14th at 7 p.m. Put it in your calendar. And make sure that you're following both me and Nikki on Instagram. That's the only rules. All right. So I'm giving away 5 copies of my book next Thursday. So make sure you do that. If you want to follow Nikki now, just to be sure, on Instagram, her handle is Nikki T NYC. And probably Carla, who's the queen of dropping links in chats, will find that for us. But Nikki T NYC. And you can follow me on there, Embrace Change NYC. Okay, hi Carla. Who else is here? Lucic, hey. Okay, so that's my ask and offer. Tell me if you're in a career change or you're looking at a career change, and the offer is the giveaway next Thursday. Okay, keep introing yourselves in the chat as we go into, the first segment of the day, which is the I gotta work on these. How are we doing? All right, it's been 2 weeks since we hung out. It's been a whole change into a new year. I want to know, how's everybody feeling? How's your 2021 treating you so far? And I will let you know how mine has been going. Welcome, Angela, new listener, new viewer. Welcome. Always love new friends. So holidays ended 2020. This is how mine went. I cooked a lot. And if you know me at all, I'm not good at cooking. It's not my jam. But I did cook a bunch of stuff. And I also burned myself here. Yeah, that's part of it, I guess. And I also slept a lot. I am really good at sleeping. Got a couple of days where I got 12 hours sleep was amazing. Felt like a new person, new lease on life. What else did I do? I did some work, but I tried to reel it back. And I watched 2 movies. One was horrid, and the other one was, I liked it. I read the reviews afterwards, and it got a little bit panned in the reviews, but I have to say I enjoyed it, and it really drew me in for the 2 hours or whatever. Let me know if you want to know what those movies were. You don't need the play-by-play of my holidays, but that's how it went. Oh, and I also became obsessed with this young artist, Amorphous, online. If you don't already follow him, I mean, ever since Thanksgiving, I think, or a little bit before that in November, he kind of just has really been all over the place and is an incredible music producer, documentarian, and also does these mashups that are go viral all the time. So actually, let me play some of Amorphous for you in the background. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Request from the audience. Thank you, Carla, for reminding me, because I always forget these things. The introvert events. Okay. So on January 2nd, World Introvert Day, I was on a panel with 7 other amazing introverts. It was organized by Jerry Bingham, who you should totally follow on LinkedIn as well. And she's the founder of Hush Loudly, which is a podcast, a brand, a community. You can follow Hush Loudly at Hush Loudly on Instagram as well, and find out more about what Jerry does at hushloudly.com. So we had this panel, and it was about 2021 being the year of the introvert and what that means. The question of introversion, is it a moment or a movement? And so we talked about all sorts of things related to introversion and how we are. And yeah, the response was incredible. Over 500 people registered. And this is for a Zoom, during holiday time. It blew my mind. From all over the world. And then I think we had about 400 people there. The chat was literally on fire. If you were there, I was all up in the chat because that's how I roll. And it was great. It was such a great conversation. We talked about a lot of things that I think a lot of people in the group were like, oh, I didn't realize that anyone else was also like this. I didn't know this was a characteristic of introversion. I thought I was just I don't know, super weird or alone, or there was something wrong with me. So I love that we were able to start the year off right by being yes, introverts, we're here. We're half of the world's population. Of course, it is a spectrum, but we're here, and we're going to claim this year and keep winning. Yes, sorry. I talked about this too, or I don't even remember if it was during this or the time that I was on the Hush Loudly podcast. But yeah, people are always shocked when they see me and they only interact with me in a workshop or a presentation, a talk, or one of these. And they're like, I can't believe you're an introvert. And I'm yes, we can also do these things. We can dial it up and be performative and entertain and engage and all that, just like extroverts can. The only difference is after this, I will be not talking to anyone for the rest of the day. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but it's all about, does this take energy from me or does it give me energy, So yeah, think about it. Also just saw that Lucy said that she slept a ton. Yay, I love it. Sleep is so foundational and restorative. And hi, Miguel. Wait, is it, please tell me how to pronounce your name, because I'm always interacting with your stuff online. Your stuff is amazing on IG. Everyone should follow and connect. And okay, great. I said it right. Thank you. So yeah. Share about your holidays. Tell me if you have more questions about the introvert event. If you want to be kept posted on like future events and stuff, just make sure to follow Jerry Bingham on LinkedIn, and like I'm sure she'll post about future events. Yeah, and Zarian says I'm in the middle of the spectrum. I mean, there's a term ambivert, and I think it's totally legit. It's where you kind of have aspects of both introversion and extroversion. So, and funnily enough, we will be talking kind of about spectrums today. So, you know, I've been thinking about things a lot in that respect. Lucic, migraine like a boss lady. I love it. Thanks for keeping it real up in here on What Would Cynthia Do. Thank you also, LinkedIn user. I'm not sure your name, and sometimes LinkedIn doesn't tell me or StreamYard doesn't tell me, but anxious and hopeful. That feels very 2021. And yeah, so keep that coming. I'm going to now start talking to you, or I'm going to say bye to Amorphous' mashup there, but definitely check out more of his stuff. On Twitter, he's at Lone Amorphous, I think. Where are we? Okay, topic of the day. We're talking about career change. And like I was saying in the beginning, I'm talking about big career change. I'm also talking about smaller pivots that still, to me, count as career change. Where is my banner? There we go. So I'm going to talk about this. Like you all know, I'm going to talk about this topic for the next 10 to 15 minutes, but please drop your questions and comments in the chat. I also want to know, like, I'm going to show you some stuff. So I want to know where you all stand on it and what questions it raises for you so that I can come back and like answer and, you know, do some hot seat coaching if you all want. But yeah, we're talking about career change. And clearly, I could talk all day about this topic. I wrote a book about it. So there's a lot. I will try to edit myself down and say that I've noticed the most common situation or question that comes to me, and I've had like 3 clients come to me with this just this week, believe it or not, is like where they feel like they're at a crossroads. So they're like, do I continue doing what I'm doing, or do I make a change? And again, that's a drastic change to a whole other industry, or that might be like changing to another team, changing to another role. Sometimes it's more drastic on like starting my own business, you know, it's a common one. So what I boil it down to always, I realize that like in coaching people and in talking to women of color about this, really comes down to like 2 main questions that can get you a ton of insight for yourself into the whole do I stay or do I go question. Oh, hey, Kim Joe, welcome. Yes, adjusting. I'm writing off January as like the whole month as like a transition month to give myself a little grace, as Darius Hillman was saying at the introvert panel. So I don't know, maybe you can join me in treating the entire month as a transition. Okay, so let me share my screen and talk to you all about these 2 questions that I kind of boil my sort of philosophy about career change down to. Share screen. Yes. Okay, hopefully y'all can see that. So the first question, if you are like, I don't know, do I like continue doing what I'm doing, honing my craft, it's going well, I want to keep excelling, or like, you know, going deeper into this work, but I also feel pulled to like do something else, to expand my skill set, or like just try something new, you know, that adventure kind of spirit. And you're just like, I don't know what to do. There's pros and cons of both, like send help, right? So here's the help. Ask yourself first this question. What's your ultimate goal when it comes down to your work and your career? And listen, I know this can feel like a very overwhelming question, but you know, just sit with it. If it's uncomfortable, sit with the discomfort for a little bit and just, you know, like allow yourself a moment to digest this and to get some clarity. Maybe journal if you want. But the way I was thinking about it as I, you know, create the slide and stuff is we're on this slider, you know, and I've worked with people on either end and all over the middle of this kind of spectrum, which on the one hand is like, well, you know, my ultimate goal is, listen, we live in capitalism. I need money to eat. I need money to have a roof over my head to support my family, my loved ones, the causes I want to support. So I need to make money, right? And that's that's why you work. Like, that's a very utilitarian perspective. I've totally worked with people before who are of that mindset. I fully support it. I think it's cool. They just want to have money to live their lives, right? On the other side, you have folks who are really more like a lot more mission driven. They're into like, I want to see the impact of my work. I want to be advancing this particular mission. Like, this is what I'm passionate about. Like, I want to move the needle on this. It's very kind of like values driven kind of thing. So usually, you know, we're somewhere between the two far ends of this spectrum. And tell me where you feel like you are on this spectrum too. Because I'm curious where all of you are at. But if you think about it, what's your end game, as it were, with your work and your career? You know? So that's the first question. And again, could be overwhelming, but it's definitely worth like reflecting on this. Then the second question, because sometimes you might feel like, I feel very much like I'm at both ends of the spectrum, right? Which really means you're in the middle. But like, if you feel equally called sort of to both, like, I do have financial goals that I want to reach, and I also care about mission. And like this, I get this scenario a lot with people. Like, I work in this particular field. It's relatively low paying, but I'm super into the mission. But I also like have ambition and I want to earn money and I want to like retire my parents or like support my kids or do whatever you want to do, you know? If that's you, you also need question 2, which is, what's more important at this stage of your career? And I'll talk about this more in a second, but like, I very strongly think about career as like not just one thing, right? Like, there's different stages at different points of your life. You're always evolving. There's certain needs that become more important than others, and you just have to deprioritize some things in order to prioritize some things, right? So I very much believe in that. And if you think about at this stage in your career, where are you on this spectrum? You know, do you want, you know, to go for that title, that salary? Think about setting yourself up for like long-term career trajectory stuff. Are you trying to grow your skills and your skill set? Do you want a broad set of skills? Versus on the other side, it's more like, you know what? I'm pretty good at what I'm doing, where I'm like still interested in it. I want to like keep honing in on this. I want to get better at my craft. I want to go deeper. I like to be efficient. I just want to like get this work done and go home, you know? Or like maybe you're working at home, so it's like, I just want to leave my desk. So thinking about this question in conjunction with the first one will give you some clarity too. So let me know also where you are on this kind of spectrum, if you're more on one side or the other. And you know, like, these things might feel in tension. They're not, this isn't like a perfect framework either. It's kind of just like one way to think about things. So, you know, like, let me know what you think. So I want to know what you all are saying. Okay, there, I'm back. Let me catch up on the chat for a second. Yes, like him just says transitioning. Grace, cool. Talking about Clubhouse, I have not been on there at all, so like, cool for folks sharing knowledge about that. Hey, Viana. Okay, Sarian says, at what point did you realize? Yeah, it's funny you raised that, because I was going to use myself as a case study, one that I know intimately well, because it does really show you how my priorities and my needs have evolved over time. And at different stages of my career, I have prioritized and deprioritized different things. So as many of you may know, I am a lawyer still, technically, but I only became a lawyer because I wanted to be a public defender. I would never have gone to law school, or like, I had no other interest in the law other than the fact that I knew I wanted to do criminal defense work and represent people who couldn't afford attorneys, and like keep people out of jail and like all that stuff. And the only way to do that was to get a law degree. So it's very utilitarian in that respect. And so that's what I did. And I got like one of my dream jobs in the Bronx at Legal Aid. And I worked there for 6 years, but I started burning out at about 3 years in. So this is a long process of like, you know, coming to grips with that. But that job, I was very much on like the mission side of that scale. Like, we were unionized, we had a pay scale. It's like, however many years you're there, that's how much you make. You know, eventually, like, I would have broke 6 figures, but like maybe 12 years in or something like that. So the money wasn't part of the analysis. I was really just like there for the work and the cause and whatever. But because I burnt out, I realized I had to shift priorities a little bit, and I needed to prioritize like myself a little bit more because I was like losing myself in the work. I wasn't doing it well because I was so burnt out. I was stressed out and anxious all the time. And I couldn't separate that stuff. Like I was just always thinking about clients and cases and trials and like all that stuff. So it wasn't that healthy, So I realized I went too far in one direction. I needed to like reel it back for myself. So I took a sabbatical. I stepped back from it, spent some time doing a lot of this deep thinking and introspection. And then thought about like, what are my strengths? What are my interests? What suits my personality as an introvert? So I was like, oh, I want to work for myself, and decided to start my own business, my own LLC. But then I entered so that was one phase. But then once I like committed to that, then it was like, okay, back to the practical stuff. Like, how is this going to support me? Like, how am I going to make money working for myself? Because at that point it was like, I just knew that's how I wanted to work. I didn't know what I wanted to do. Right. So, I had to figure it out, I had to like fucking figure out how to earn some business revenue. And it took me a couple of pivots, a few career changes within that. Trial and error, by the way, sometimes you could theorize till the cows come home, and you don't know if something's going to work until you're in it. You're in the job, you're doing the work, you've tried a few things, you've given it some time, right? So yeah, and then I landed upon the career coaching for women of color. Fucking love it. Happen to be really good at it, and it suits me. And like one-on-one work is like my jam. Although to Zarene's point from earlier, yeah, like I can also do other things. Anyway, so yeah, and later on in another stage of my life, it might change again, right? But like for now, I'm really just hyper focused on like advancing my mission of getting women of color the money, power, and respect that we deserve. And also like building up my business so there's enough financial cushion for myself so that later on, if I do move to something that's lower paying again, like I can still make that work. So that's my whole trajectory. Hope you were curious about that. Thank you, Lakimja, for the support. And yeah, okay, so somebody said they're in the middle on both. That's very interesting. And that I feel like that tension can be really stressful. Tell me if it's stressful or not for you. Like, I don't know. I don't want to put words in your mouth or whatever, but like, I feel like that when I encounter people who are kind of split and care about all the things, it can be really stressful because it's like, oh, I'm so torn. I could really go either way. And sometimes like, if anybody's wondering like how do you address that, then it's, to me, I really think it's just try one first, like line up all the different possibilities and then figure out, put them in some kind of order. Because sometimes also like logistically and practically, you should pursue one. You can only do like A and then B. You can't really do B and then A. Do you know what I mean? So you need to think about these things too and be strategic about it. Because if you can only do A and then B, then do A and then try B, right? Very obvious. And that's like something that there's this book called Designing Your Life, on career and stuff, where they talk about that. All right, let's see. Did anyone encourage you to take a sabbatical, or was it self-initiated? So this was one of the benefits of working at a place that was unionized. We had really great benefits because people had fought for all those benefits for us and all of our rights as unionized workers. So after 3 years at Legal Aid, like you could qualify, you can apply for a sabbatical and you can take it for either 1 year, 9 months, 6 months, something like that, a couple different lengths of time. And, it was probably some of both. I'm sure somebody was like, told me to take a sabbatical because it was just part of our work culture and they like knew like this is an option for you if you need it. But by a certain point of burnout, I was like, I have to do something. I can't continue this. And it was great because the sabbatical meant, it was unpaid, but the sabbatical meant that if I wanted to go back, I could. I wouldn't have to re-interview all over again and stuff. Like my job would just be there for me for like up to a year. Oh, good. This is awesome. Hold on. I don't know what this is, but I am going to check that out after. Thank you, Michael. Yes. And hey, listen, sometimes the universe makes the decision for you, or like other people literally make the decision for you. And like, I'm all for it. Sometimes we can hold ourselves back because we're like too afraid to take that leap. And then something will happen, like a like getting fired or furloughed or put on what's it called? Layoffs or things like that. And I'm gonna say, like, for me, I would never have started my business if I realized how much work it was gonna take and how hard it was gonna be, especially in the beginning. I would never have done it. I was like, that's ridiculous. It's way too much risk. I can't see this thing happening for me. I'm not taking that jump. But in the beginning, I was a little naive about it. I was like, I could do this, like I was really drinking my own Kool-Aid. But I'm glad that I did, because like sometimes we need that push, that external push to be like, yes, do it. So I mean, I hope that for you, that like that sabbatical is giving you some space to think about things, or if it was in the past, like, oh yeah, there you go, best thing ever, love it. Where's my air horn? Yes, it can be the best thing ever for you. And like, even now during the pandemic and with all the economic fallout, I see more and more women and women of color starting their own businesses, even though it's like, feels like it might be a scary time to do that, but in a way it's the best time. And I like gain a lot of hope from that. So anyways, yeah, I guess that's why I'm anxious. I guess I really want to become a supervisor or manager and retire. So it's good to know what you want. Sounds like you're pretty clear on it. Maybe simply having a plan and having those first couple of steps laid out for you would do a lot in terms of just getting you rolling, because if you know where ultimately you want to go, like that's more than half the battle, right? Then it's just logistics to figure it out, to be honest. So yeah, maybe being in the middle on all those sliders isn't so bad. All right, let me know if y'all have any other questions. We're coming up on time soon, but get those questions in if you want me to weigh in on them for a second. I'm going to let you know again, for people who may have joined late, next Thursday, January 14th at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm giving away 5 copies of this bad boy, my book, Don't Stay in Your Lane, The Career Change Guide for Women of Color. So it makes today's topic actually very appropriate. Because I know lots of folks might be thinking, new year, like new career, new title, new salary, like stuff like that. So tune in on Instagram next Thursday, 7 p.m. The giveaway is sponsored by my friend and law school classmate, Nikki Thomas, who's incredible real estate agent, by the way, also did a career change. And she bought 5 books and wants to give them away. So we'll be hanging out 7 o'clock on IG. Make sure you're following both of us on there. I'm at Embrace Change NYC, and she is at Nikki T NYC. Yeah, like Kimja, totally roll through. All you have to do is be following the two of us and be at the live. So no difficult rules or anything like that. Let's see. Michael says, before I couldn't have a voice, now I can. Yes. Thank you for using your platform. I mean, totally. I feel like you do the same thing, and just think, like, if all of us are doing this, I mean, I think of it as like lighting a million little fires. And that's why I was so excited when Zareen told me, where is the link here? When Zareen told me about the podcast, No Stupid Answers, brand new podcast alert. Like, if we just think about it, if I impact 1 to 3 people by doing one of these, and then those 3 people go out and like impact 3 more each, that's literally exponential growth. But I feel like that happens, and it is because we are using our platforms to amplify each other, to put our voices out there, be seen, be heard, all that stuff. So yes, please join. That's my IG handle. Thank you, Carla. And that is Nikki. So please follow us both. Join us for next Thursday's giveaway. And looks like there's no questions, but my DMs are always open. So drop me a line if you need. Hold on, let me do this. Gotta put my little theme song on to play us out. Music by Quinces Morera, by the way. If you want his link, TM me and I'll send you all that stuff. So we'll be back next Wednesday, the 13th, 2 p.m. Eastern. As always, please join live. Tell your friends. Thank you to our new listener. Where are you? Scrolling up. Who is new here today? I forget. Oh yeah, Angela. Thank you, Angela. See, we need new people. Bring your friends. Have them join. Tell them it's super fun and you might learn something. And yes, little fires everywhere. Let's take that energy with us and just try to like start them all, because that's our energy is all going to combine and like think what we could accomplish together. We'd be unstoppable. We are unstoppable. All right. Thank you so much, Lakimja. Thank you, Carla. Thank you, Michael, for all your contributions. Zareen. I'm checking out that link later, by the way. I'm so intrigued. Who else is here? Ali. Thank you, LinkedIn user. I'm sorry it doesn't tell me your name all the time. Lucic, yes, in the house, in the clubhouse, I guess. Hi, Viana. Thank you for coming. Thank you. I don't know if Praveen or McKinney drop by later, but hey to y'all too. Fanny are some of our regulars. Yeah, thank you, Angela, for dropping in and trying this out. Oh, Tamora, of course. Thank you. And thanks, Ali. Okay, I'll see you all next week. Keep connecting. Keep starting those little fires. Happy New Year. That banner is outdated. Okay, bye.